Hello. Welcome to the Hotel Spectu. I'm sorry, but we're fully booked. This hotel is very prestigious, and I'm afraid we won't have a free room until, what's the word for a decade and a half? Huh? Oh, you've come to see family. Oh, in that case, I should put you in touch with the manager. She's currently in the middle of giving a sermon right now in the main hall. But if you go in, you can catch the end of it. She'll make sure to see you after. Oh yeah, I hate working the desk. Having to lie to people, keep up the hotel front. You know, most of the time they just get really mad at whoever's working reception. But when I do it, they just get put off and leave. I don't know why. The main hall is up those stairs and through the double doors. Okay, bye, and I see you. But while this new world of ours is still not fully understood, there are some undisputed truths that have become apparent in these 20+ years. The first being the selfish and insular nature of the Mages Guild. The hoarding of knowledge to those deemed acceptable members of society. Or the vampire courts, blessed with great power and eternal life, yet wasted on cheap thrills and petty politics. And I ask you, what do these groups have in common? For one, they have a complete lack of empathy. We all stand here because someone we cared about disappeared. Perhaps even before our very eyes. Friends, lovers, children, parents. Whether it was by the hand of God or some other cosmic horror, it's apparently not our place to know. Well, I say we have the right to know. And if they don't give us answers, then it's in our best interest to look to someone who will. I speak, of course, of demons. Despite their minimal influence, demons are the true architects of this age.
That's true. Demons run the biggest art gallery in the city.
Vampires were born from drinking the blood that was gifted them by the demon Valak. And what did they do in return? They kicked them all out.
Beelzebub bought my house and all the other houses in my neighborhood to expand his super mansion.
Meanwhile, mages created magic using tomes that fell from hell. So I ask you, why must we rely on the empty words of traitors and thieves?
Don't demons run the whole West Coast with an iron fist? No!
Still, if the progenitors of vampires can summon a demon to surpass their mortality, then so should we be able to summon one to gain sight beyond the stars. Know that once we have made communion, we shall see our loved ones once again. So remember that all your contributions will help us to reach one step closer to summoning our savior, the all-seeing eye demon, Peeping Tom.
All hail Peeping Tom. He sees us and we are valid.
That concludes today's sermon. I will now read from this week's newsletter. First upon the programme, Weevil the Split has had an unfortunate accident during one of his feedings, involving an ice cream mixer. If you have communion with them, please refrain from mentioning it or staring at the twisted half of his body. Due to the incident at last week's potluck, involving ghost pepper jam, all food items are to be labelled or they will be removed from the table. Lastly, there have been multiple sightings of jet black paper cherubs in the building. If you see one, please hand them in to be properly disposed of. It's important that you do not rip them apart, take them back to your room, and above all else, keep them out of the reach of children. That will be all. What have we here? A new congregate, perhaps? I hope you won't be as pedantic as the gentleman who had to be escorted out the building. Well, you came at a good time. Honestly, my sermons only really get good at the end. Thank you. Well, many people seem content to forget, but in my professional opinion, you need closure if you want to move on. And you can't accept something when you don't even know what happened. It's just common sense. Well, my sermons aren't really made for outsiders, but if you're interested in joining, we could have a chat in my office. As you can see, we have the facilities in place to house our 258 members all in one building, and enough rooms for an additional 5,400. Here it is, the 5th floor. My office is just down the hall here. Just this way, please. If it feels like the walls are watching you, don't worry. They are, but it's perfectly normal. Much better. My name is Gilda Yvonne, Head Minister of the Order of the Peeping Eye. I succeeded the founder 5 years ago after his unfortunate accident, but he named me his successor, and since then I dare say our membership has been climbing ever since. I had something of a reputation before I came here. Gilda Yvonne never loses a mark, they used to say. I was something of a saleswoman, although some less kind people would call me a con woman. It's caused some tension with the other members, no doubt. A few of the other ministers called foul play, seeing as how I was promoted despite being a relatively new member, as well as how his fatal fall happened only a week after I was named his successor. But the surge in membership quickly shut them up. I think the most important thing to take away from this is that I found a greater purpose for my skill set. And frankly, I think that's beautiful. So, how about we talk membership plans? Yes, we work on a tiered system that's dependent on the size of your monthly contributions. I implemented it when I took over and it's been quite successful. When we had the flat entry fee, it cut out a lot of people who just weren't as liquid, if you know what I mean. I personally believe that everyone, whether they're rich or poor, deserve a place in this order. And, between you and me, I think some of the more well-off members could be pulling their weight a little bit more. You didn't hear me say that. Now, the minimal price of 100 guilder a month will place you on the 1st floor. This includes basic room and board, 3 meals a day served in the dining hall, and limited access to our library, where you can study the behaviour of dynamic entities. 250 guilder a month will get you a 2nd story room. This comes with its own personal kitchen, if you wish to cook your own meals, as well as a shrine if you wish to practice your devotion in your own time. 500 guilder brings you up to the 3rd floor. All previous benefits are included, however, you are granted unlimited access to the Dynamic Library. Lastly, there's the 4th floor. This will net you a studio suite room, as well as personal tutelage from one of our ministers. This costs 1,500 guilder a month. Our ministers are very busy, so you could understand why we'd limit this to a select few. Oh, the rooms on the 5th floor? Oh, those rooms are for the ministers and I. We don't sell those because only those who have given their lives to the pursuit of summoning Peeping Tom are gifted with the title. Now, you are free to leave and go to your job and visit your family because, well, you need to work if you're going to pay your contributions, and, you know, you're an adult. Just because you're devoting your spare time to worshipping a demon doesn't mean you have to make it your whole life. Now, I bet you're thinking, oh no, me money's running dry, I won't be able to pay dues. Well, don't worry about that. if money ever starts becoming an issue, you could try recommending us to either a friend or a co-worker. And if that person decides to join the congregation, we will knock 50 guilder off that month's contribution. Lastly, I must point out that once you select your tier, you are locked into it for the remainder of your stay, meaning that you can neither increase or decrease your monthly contributions, nor can you gain the system by indoctrinating an entire office building in exchange for a studio suite. Well, a lot of these rooms are booked in advance, so having one of our members suddenly switch rooms makes a mess of our records and organisation, you can understand. Now, it would be unfair for me to not mention the various anomalies that tend to occur in this building. No doubt you've heard or experienced a few already in your short stay here. Yes, there's a concentrated field of demonic energy circling the hotel. All that devil worshipping is bound to cause a few adverse effects. Still, as long as you follow procedure, you'll be fine. And should anything happen that you need treatment for, I suggest the potion shop in Breckelin. Yes, a small little place. My sister runs it. Just don't mention me if she asks you how you found out about it. The two of us drifted apart after she'd left for the Mages Academy. She changed a lot. She acts like she's above it all and their influence, but in the end she couldn't even keep her promise. Still, I'm not so spiteful that I won't send some business her way, even if she doesn't appreciate it. So, how soon will you be able to move in? Very good. We'll have a room put aside for you for next month. If you could just sign here. Oh, that. Well, we'll need your bank details so we can charge your first month's deposit. I mean, we are leaving a room empty for your arrival. It wouldn't be fair to us or anyone else who wanted it if you changed your mind at the last minute. Perfect. Ah, Brother Rutherford. Thank you earlier for taking care of that heckler. I take it he was shown the proper exit? Ah, yes, this is our newest member. Would you be so kind as to escort them to the door? They have a lot of packing to do. You're back. Great work. The bug is in position and fully functional. Look, I know that you'll need a minute to calm down because that must have been pretty intense, but I have something to show you. I recorded this shortly after you left. Ah, Minister Waldron. Yes, this is the third one this week. Are you surprised? In my experience, you speak with enough authority and Catholic undertones, you can get people to believe anything. Even a demon as ridiculous as Peeping Tom. And to think, you thought that the head minister hiring me would have given the game away. I knew it! It's all a scam. This Order of the Peeping Eye are a bigger bunch of bloodsuckers than the Vampire Court. We've got to get that out of there as soon as possible. The best way to do that is to expose the Order for the racket that it is. Unfortunately, this alone won't be enough. You'd be surprised how much suspicious shit the Order's members will ignore. Not that I blame them. Being able to see your missing loved ones is a hell of a promise. I hate that you're the one I'm sending in, but they already got me on their watch list. They know my face. So it's gonna have to be you. Me? Well, I'll be recording everything that goes on in Gilda's office, as well as looking into her family. Listen to this. No, I don't feel like drinking tonight. I'm suddenly feeling rather somber. I do have the urge to give my sister a call again. You know, despite everything, I do enjoy her more downbeat attitude and her sarcastic demeanour. Oh well. I'll give it a week and see how I feel about it then. While you spy on them from the inside, I'm going to investigate the other Avon sister. They seem to have a terse relationship, so maybe she can help us get the dirt on Gilda. Well, we have our missions. Just, if you feel like it's getting too dangerous, I want you to get out of there as soon as possible. I don't want to lose 2 family members to these vultures.